Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of an honors review. My name is Tovar. I'm with Red Path Performance Group, and if this is your first time in this channel, basically I just do honor reviews about products that I like and products that I love, products that need some improvement. I looked everywhere for reviews of this type and I never found them. It was always an unboxing or somebody trying a hiking shoe in their backyard, and that's not really what a review needs to be, in my opinion. So this is what this channel is about. Welcome if this is your first time. Today I'm going to do a review on the Salomon Cross Hike. So if you see all my videos, I'm a huge fan of Salomon. That's what I have their products. Nobody ships this to me. I buy the products that I'm interested in, and that's what I review. So for a long time, I've been looking for exactly this, a light boot that has the top qualities of a boot, which in my opinion are having some ankle support, making sure that they're very stable in the bottom, making sure that they're okay to carry heavy loads, but that can perform as a sneaker in being flexible, being light, and also allowing good movement for my foot, right? Not being too constrictive. So I have a review in my channel of the Assault, Salomon Forces Assault, which was not a great product in my opinion. So when the CrossFit hike the Cross Hike came along, I thought that this would be it. In a lot of ways, it is. I'm going to talk first about the things that I like, and then the things that I think that need improvement. So the first thing that kind of got my attention was that they look a lot like Salomon's Supercross and Salomon's Alpha Cross, and I tried, for example, the Alpha Cross, and they were not very good when you were standing on your feet for too long, right? So I was a little bit hesitant. And also, if we go to the Supercross, similar situation. And also Salomon has we all know that they're a little bit narrow when it comes to the forefoot area, to the toe box, which in general is a big no-go for me, because I've been using Ultra and sandals for way too long for running, and my feet tend to be very splayed, my toes. So I was a bit hesitant when I bought the boot. Right off the box, it's very comfortable. It's ridiculously comfortable. I was very pleased with that. Right off the box, I was able to go walking without having any blisters, even though it looks narrow. In the inside, the room is quite generous. Another thing that I really liked is that it does offer the stability of a boot because of the sensitive chassis that Salomon has. In my opinion, I never buy a shoe that doesn't have some type of chassis, some type of structure, because I don't like my foot wobbling around. So if we see closely, even underneath, you can see where the stabilizers are, right? Right here, right here. In a lot of the Salomon shoes, they're visible. In this case, they're not, because everything is covered by a Gore-Tex booty, right? Which is fantastic. Speaking of that, waterproof, great. Very, very waterproof. I was right off the box. One of the first things that I did after a week or so of having them was doing an endurance event in which I was on my feet for roughly 24 hours. And as you know, morning dew, everything is wet. My socks were never wet. So the waterproofing on these things is amazing. So good job on that. But of course, it's Gore-Tex, so it's expected. Insulation, not so much, because of course it's light. That's one of the goals, right? So of course, if you want your feet to be warm, then definitely wear better socks than just, light socks, right? So that is great. Another thing, like I said, I was on my feet for 24 hours. Nothing really was uncomfortable. My heels were not hurting. My forefoot was not hurting. So they did a very good job in the energy cell inside this. That means that's the material that we have here that offers some energy return when you're stepping, but it's also very nice here in the back because it offers some very good cushioning right here on your heels. So super comfortable to be in all day. Also, I really like the thread. As you can see, it's a very aggressive thread. So even when you're in rocks or in mud, they're very sticky. So the stability of the shoe also is great. What they definitely did with this that I really, really liked is the ankle support. The ankle support is fantastic, right? Your ankle is right there. The last eyelet allows you to do a very secure fit, but in the back they changed the material, so it's a lot softer. So when you're stepping, you don't feel that that feeling that you have with some boots in which it's just digging to the back of your ankle. You don't get that in these, right? So heel really locked in, ankle very well supported, jet have room here for good mobility, right? So overall, in that regards, they perform really, really well. I'm very, very impressed with what they did with this boot. It has an Ortholite insole, which is part of what Salomon does, so that basically it's glued to the bottom, so basically it stays there all the time, and it's really, really good. I like that a lot in their boots. The trade-off is that when they in fact get wet, maybe because you get water through your ankles, or maybe if you're wearing shorts and it's raining, then it's just difficult to dry because you cannot get the insole out, right? You just have to make sure that these air dry. Not a big deal though. You can see here the material in the tongue and inside the ankle, very, very soft, so definitely super comfortable. So my goal was to have a light boot that was just a hybrid between a boot and a sneaker, right? Being able to move fast enough, being able to have light feet, being able to have support, being able to have protection from weather. Great. They covered all these requirements. Now, the things that I didn't like, which I'm gonna leave to you whether you want to do it or not. But first of all, you can see how these have regular laces. If you go online or if you've seen online, you will see that these come with a quick lace system from Salomon. I didn't like it very much. I feel that, and this is just maybe my perception, but I feel that old shoes that I had from Salomon that had the quick lace system and newer shoes that I have that have the quick lace system, I feel that it's starting the piece that carries that tension. I tend to find it that the newer versions, it tends to come a little bit undone. What I'm trying to say is that in newer shoes that have the quick lace system, I find myself more often tightening them in back than before. So, because for me, ankle support is something that I really appreciate when I'm having a high top or a mid top like this one's. I don't want to be adjusting that. So what I did is that I just put regular shoelaces in. So that's just personal preference, and that's just my perception. I may be wrong, but I just put regular shoelaces in. I always put a knot in the end of the shoelaces, so that way when I want to get out the boot real quick, I can just pull with all my might and make sure that the shoelace doesn't come out, right? That's just personal preferences. That's what I did, right? So that would be the one thing, the quick lace system. The other thing is, and this is something that I've seen a lot of written reviews on Salomon, that seems to be a problem with this first iteration of this shoe, which I'm sure they're gonna have a second iteration because it performs really well except for this one thing. As you can see, the toe is covered with this acrylic, with this plastic material, right? It's great because it provides some protection to the toe from rocks, which is amazing when you're hiking or you're moving in difficult terrain at night. That's great. And it goes all around. All around, we have this little plastic layer on top of the textile, right? But see, it's coming off. It's delaminating, as they say. So as you can see, what was the mechanism for this? When you're stepping, it wrinkles, starts to come undone. Same thing happened to me in the other shoe. Actually, you can exactly see where the structure of the chassis goes into the sole, right? That's exactly the tension points. That's exactly what is coming off, right? Has this been an issue in the performance of the shoe? Absolutely not. I just hated that this happened very early on. I have these boots for a couple of months. Definitely put a lot of miles in it. I've worn them nonstop for the events in which I'm usually standing 12 hours, 24 hours, being this my primary boot that I bring. I actually went into a river in this knee deep, and they were surprisingly fast to dry, which was also very, very cool. So the performance of the boot has not really changed a lot since this happened. Nothing at all, nothing that I perceive. Even when I get rained on, even when I go on puddles, waterproof is still sealed tight because, of course, the waterproofness is built into the booty. It has nothing to do with this layer. So nothing has been an issue in terms of performance. But of course, having this, and this happened after the second use, is not something you want out of a new shoe, right? Especially if you care about how you look. I'm not saying that it's superficial or not, but maybe you got this to work in a uniform because they have it in black, and you don't want your uniform to be all worn out after 3 or 4 days of use. I've seen a lot of reviews that is the case for almost every user. So I think that's something that Salomon needs to work on. What I did send them an email, and they sent me a voucher to buy another pair. So Salomon's customer service is fantastic all the way. Even though the performance was not affected, they acknowledged that it's not what is supposed to happen, and they were kind enough to provide me with a voucher to buy another pair. I have not yet bought another pair because, like I said, this pair is just fine. It's just this delayering, right? So that's all. That's really the only 2 complaints I have about this shoe is the quick release system, which is not really about this shoe. I've just noticed that there's something different, the quality that Salomon has in the recent years before in comparison to older versions of it. So let's not put that on these ones. Just the quick release system for me doesn't work as good anymore. The one thing is that delayering that is happening. Other than that, solid waterproof boots. Very light, a lot of support. Waterproofness is excellent. I would highly recommend this if you're looking for a light boot that is waterproof and that can almost do it all, right? I've been rocking on this in asphalt. I've been hiking in them. I've done pretty much everything in this, and I love them. And that's why the review took a little bit longer, because I need to have them for some time and do things before telling you if these are good or not. So that's my honest review on the Salomon Cross Hikes. Comment, like, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any feedback, if you have used them and have a different experience, or if there's anything that I may have missed that you're interested in. Just leave your questions. Salomon Cross Hike, honest review. See you next one.